Okay, hello and good morning. I am here in my Tinkercad dashboard, which you should all know how to get to by now, I think, hopefully. If not, let me know. But here it is, tinkercad.com/dashboard. I'm going to show you what I'm going to make in this lesson. I have taken the room. I'm going to try and keep my video. I'm going to watch the clock. I'm going to try and keep it under 11 minutes here. We're going to simply create one piece of furniture to place in our room. It can be a desk. It can be a bed, right? If you stretch out a cube in different ways. It could also be something like a chair, a stool. You could imagine instead of making a desk, you could make a stool. Either way, you have to make something with 4 legs or 3 legs. I don't know. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm not going to tinker this. I'm going to go and work from the... I'm going to check my audio levels. See, it doesn't even show. I think we're fine. Alrighty. So I'm going to work from this, my screencast room. This is the one I was working on. I'm going to say tinker this. The first step is to lock down what I have already designed. And I noticed this is happening to me. My color went away. I don't know. I'm noticing that I have to group this. So quick reminder to group things in order to get your whole punched out here is that you have to select those 2 shapes, the wall and the hole itself, and choose group, which is Control-G or this button here. Okay, so that's where I should have been. I'm not sure what the color either, so I apologize for that. All right, here we go. The first step is to lock down the design. What I don't want to happen is if I drag out like a cylinder, I'm going to make legs from cylinders in a second. I don't want to have this here, and then while I'm trying to click on this, you accidentally click on the room, and you move it, and your whole design gets messed up. So I'm Control-Zing to go back. In this case, I have 3 or 4 shapes. I'm going to simply click and drag a selection box. And what I'm not doing is dragging a box, this thing here. This is actually a cube. The selection box. You'll notice over here in my shape panel, it tells me that I can lock them. Lock editing. And that includes position. So that's locked down. That's awesome. Now I'm going to create my desk in my room. I'm trying to keep this short, so I'm not going to talk much about colors. What is going to be new is this idea of changing the work plane. I don't want things to be dragged out in the middle of the floor, like so. Right? It's like inside the floor. I don't want to bother with that. The easiest thing to do is change your work plane. So I'm going to click on this work plane tool. Work plane. And then click on the plane I want to work on. Like so. Now when I drag a box out, it will drag directly on top. And in my children's room, their desk is right about here up against a wall, which is non-existent in my design here. But since we're doing a cross cut, it'll work. Okay, so I place my cube. And now I simply want to change the size of it. So I'll stretch it out. And I'm eyeballing it, but I know people are going to want exact dimensions. Let's say 50 by 22. Height-wise, I'm going to squash it, have it go down. And here's where the secret recipe lies in 3D design, is that I'm going to build my table upside down. I find it's much easier to begin with the table and then add the legs on top of it by changing the work plane. Bear with me, folks. Let me now zoom in. So I'm going to hold down on the middle scroll wheel to change my view of the camera and then zoom in using the scroll wheel or these zoom buttons over here. I'm now going to stack a cylinder on top of this desk. So I need to change the work plane. Work plane. Come down here and click on the box. Okay, so now when I add the table legs, they're going to be, and we're imagining now this is the bottom of the desk. This is where all the gum is when I'm cleaning things in the in my room, there's always like 1 or 2 random desks that just have tons of gum on the bottom of that. Imagine the gum is here. So that's where we're going to add the table legs. And I'm going to do something funky to align our table legs. So stay tuned, folks. So now that my work plane is on top of my desk here, I'm going to grab my cylinder and drop it directly on the desk. This height is probably pretty good. I do need to change the width of this, yeah? Something really small, probably something like 3 by 3. So I'm going to type that in, 3 by 3. I'm going to hit tab or enter. There we go. And how tall is this? Probably the default of 20. I'm going to keep it as is. Right click around to give myself a better view. Middle click. Change where the camera is. Okay. I'm not going to use the align tool today. We're just going to eyeball this. So I've placed this. If I right click around, you can see, make sure your table leg is connected. I don't want to see floating legs. Zbarth, how are you going to do this in the next 5 minutes? I don't know if you can. Oh, I can, and I will. And what we're going to do is copy things here. We talked about alt dragging previously. We alt dragged on our ice cream cone here on this black arrow. Now I'm going to simply alt shift drag on the table leg. When I do that, alt copies, shift. Wait, it didn't do it. Oh, I wasn't holding alt. Sorry, I'm on a weird keyboard. Here we go. Let's try that again. Alt copies. Look, it's like floating randomly. If I hold shift while I do this as well, it forces it to go straight. Okay, so I've held alt and shift the whole time. I'm going to let go of the mouse first. Boom. There is my copy. Oh man, Zbarth, I got to do that 2 more times. No, wrong. You only have to do it 1 more time. Why is that? Well, because this time we're going to copy 2 things at once. So I'm going to select this, hold down the shift key, select this cylinder. Okay. And now I will hold down the alt key to copy. No, okay, I didn't do it again. That was command, sorry. The alt key to copy and the shift key to keep it constrained. And if that didn't rock your brain, I don't know what will. We right click around and look at like how nicely this is designed. I've got 2 objects selected. I need to select all 5 of them and then group them and then rotate them in the next 4 minutes. I'll hold down the shift key, select cylinder 3, select cylinder 4. It looks like the table is selected, but indeed it is not. I'm going to click on the table top as well. Now, all 5 things are selected. Look, shapes, 5, tells you. Let's group these while they're here. Something funny is going to happen when I group them. Oops, grouping is right here, not lock. The colors will all change to the same thing. That's because Tinkercad doesn't have a brain like you do, thinks you want it to be one color. If you check the multicolor tab, it will allow you to maintain your separate groups and colors. Now that everything is selected here and I've grouped it, I can rotate 180 degrees and it should pop exactly on top. Let me make sure that it's not inside, because I don't know this for sure. Look, I'm going to raise up my table here just to triple check. And so, yeah, look, now there's a gap. So it did do this correctly. I now have a nice little desk. I'm only asking you guys to make 1 piece of furniture. It's Monday. Relax. You'll probably want to change the work plane. I am asking that you turn in a screenshot of this. You notice I say something about this being a orthographic view. Oh wait, first work plane. Work plane tool. Simply double click on the white area, or just click once and it goes back underneath there. I also want an orthographic view of this in the end, so get some practice switching to the flat view, orthographic, also known as isometric. I'm going to middle click so I could see my whole design. On a Mac, it's Shift Command 4. On Windows, use the snip tool or print screen, function print screen. On a Chromebook, it is Shift, Control, and that Windows key. So I'll do that here. Screenshot, give me this whole thing. I don't mind. Upload it to Schoology this time, people. Humans of CDM. Other YouTube viewers, thank you, and I apologize for my my cadence, I guess, today. The timbre of my voice is not as it normally is. Thanks again, guys, and mash that subscribe button. Boom. Stop.